Hey, you enjoying the World Cup game? Yeah, it's going great. England is crushing it right now. And they started off the match singing Hey Jude. It was such an awesome tribute to Jude Bellingham. Yeah, it's such an iconic Beatles song. It's such an emotional story behind it. It's one of Paul McCartney's best melodies. It's like so complex yet so simple, and it's so emotional and heartfelt. And oh, so close. Oh my god. Oh, yes, goal. Yes. England wins! Hey, that's awesome. Congrats to England.
What? Of all songs, they're singing Wonderwall?
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't even know that. That's so awesome that they're singing that. It's such an iconic Britpop anthem, but it's so annoying. Everyone at every single party plays that song, especially if they have a guitar. They just put the capo on the second fret and go off and play Wonderwall. It's so annoying, and it's so generic as well. Why couldn't they have played any other song other than Wonderwall? Well, it is a testament to how good the song is that people are singing it 30 years later, but you bring up a good point. Why are we still singing Wonderwall 30 years later? I don't know, let's talk about it. With all the parties you go to, with all the people that come out with acoustic guitars and put the capo on the second fret, why is it always Wonderwall? And why when everyone brings up Oasis, it's always, oh, it's just the Wonderwall guys? I don't know, let's talk about it, because this World Cup made me realize that Oasis's Wonderwall and the Beatles' Hey Jude are some of the most iconic songs ever written. And with the response from fans during the 2026 FIFA World Cup, it's made me realize just how truly timeless these songs are. So in this video, I want to talk about the stories of Wonderwall and Hey Jude and why they are still stuck in our heads 30 years later and almost 60 years later. Wow, Hey Jude is that old. I literally cannot believe it. Oh, Wonderwall, Wonderwall. What a beautiful meme of a song. But where did this genius of a British anthem come from? For years, the media circulated the narrative that Noel Gallagher wrote Wonderwall about his then-girlfriend and subsequent wife, Meg Matthews. Noel went along with this narrative because correcting the media would make him look like a jerk in front of his partner. But many decades later, Noel finally admitted the truth. And this is crazy. He said that the song was completely detached from Meg, and it was actually about an imaginary friend who is going to come and save him, or you, the listener, from his or your internal anxieties. Another cool thing is, imagine this. Wonderwall sung by Noel Gallagher and Don't Look Back in Anger sung by Liam Gallagher. That just makes my head hurt. Well, I think I've heard many versions of Wonderwall sung by Noel, and I think he did it in MTV Unplugged, and just some other acoustic versions of Noel singing his songs. I've heard Noel sing many of his own songs, like Some Might Say and She's Electric, many songs that Liam has sung, but I can never imagine the idea of Liam singing Noel's iconic anthem, Don't Look Back in Anger. I think he's sung it live a few times before, but I just cannot imagine our studio recording on What's the Story Morning Glory of Don't Look Back in Anger sung by Liam. And this is all because of sort of like an intense studio standoff, which is obviously par for the course with the Gallagher brothers. Noel originally wanted to sing Wonderwall himself, but he gave Liam an ultimatum. Liam could either sing Wonderwall or Don't Look Back in Anger, and Noel's gonna have to sing the other one. Liam chose Wonderwall because of the loving, raw vulnerability of the song. And I wouldn't have had it any other way. Liam really kills it with the vocals in the song, as much as many people make fun of him, let alone Tom York. Freaking Tom York is roasting Liam Gallagher about his vocals in the song, but I think it's amazing. I think he does a great job with the song, and I can't imagine anyone else singing it in the studio recording. Just like many of Noel Gallagher's acoustic bass songs like Talk Tonight or Cast No Shadow or many of his later solo songs as well, Wonderwall is structurally engineered to be easy to play, but incredibly difficult to replicate emotionally, and I really relate to that. Whenever I try to play the song, I can never replicate the vibes of the Gallagher brothers back in 1995. And here's one of the coolest things about this song. So many people are like, what the heck does Wonderwall mean? Well, it could mean that Noel Gallagher, like, recorded this song while he was, like, sitting on a wall, I think, something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but if there's anything that I love about Oasis is, just like me, they are mega, massive Beatles fans. They love the Fab Four, and they love everything about the Beatles. And that title, Wonderwall, came from one of George Harrison's solo albums in 1968, Wonderwall Music. That would make for a really good video as well. Why Oasis are the biggest Beatles fans. Keep an eye out for that one.
The way I discovered Wonderwall was naturally through the way many other people discovered the song, with it being the go-to acoustic guitar song. So back in high school in around 2016, I picked up my sister's old acoustic guitar, started teaching myself, and I was like sharing all the songs that I was learning with my friends. I would share with my friends all the songs that I was learning. And I kept getting the response, when am I gonna learn Wonderwall? When am I gonna learn Wonderwall? And I was like, Wonderwall, what the heck is this? Because I was only listening to music from the 60s, 70s, and 80s at that time. I didn't really break into the 90s. I didn't really get into like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Oasis, Nirvana, anything like that just yet. But one day when school was ending and like high school was coming to a close, summer was starting up, there was a lot of like drama and stuff happening in many of our friend groups. And I was like, hey, let me just listen to this Wonderwall song that people keep bringing up. And at that time in my life, with whatever was going on, I don't really want to get into it, the lyrics that Noel Gallagher wrote and that Liam Gallagher was singing were incredibly relatable to me. And I was like, I don't think I've ever heard the song in my life, but it is so incredibly relatable, and I can really kind of understand everything that they're trying to say. But that was just 17-year-old me. I thought I had all the answers in the world. And then when I got into college, I would bring out my guitar and I would play all these songs with my friends. And I would always put the capo on the second fret and I would play songs like Norwegian Wood and stuff. And I would still keep getting that request, Wonderwall, Wonderwall, why aren't you playing Wonderwall? And then whenever I would pick up the guitar, everyone was going to be like, oh, he's definitely going to play Wonderwall. But it was always Norwegian Wood, or Here Comes the Sun, or Stairway to Heaven, or whatever I was playing at that time. And then it became like out of defiance that I just didn't ever want to play Wonderwall. But that was also when I got into Oasis. I listened to songs from Definitely Maybe, What's the Story, Morning Glory, and got into them a little bit more and more and more. But regardless of what I felt or what my friends wanted, I always just thought that it was so cool that the song has been so prevalent throughout so many like important moments of my life. And it was only last year, during the whole like buzz and movement of Oasis Live 2025, where I got my guitars out and I started to relearn a lot of these Oasis songs. And I was like, hey, Wonderwall is finally something I should pick up and add to my repertoire, despite my defiance. And despite so many people being annoyed by it, or despite it being a meme, or despite it being like the go-to acoustic guitar song, I think what speaks volumes so much more is whenever it is played at a party, whenever it does come on the radio, whenever someone does have it in their queue, everyone sings along, everyone knows it, everyone relates to it. And the more and more I get older, those lyrics still ring true, and it reminds me of what was going on in my life back then, and I can attribute it to many things happening in my life right now. I think my favorite lyric from the whole song is, there are many things that I'd like to say to you, but I don't know how. I don't know, to me it just sounds so profound and so relatable in so many ways. When you're put into the spot, when you have really strong feelings for someone else, but you just don't really know how to put those feelings into words and even properly communicate them. With its 30-year-long legacy, Wonderwall is still an anthem to so many people, and especially Team England at the 2026 World Cup. And it was so awesome to hear them triumphantly sing that song after every win. But also as an Oasis fan, it makes me think, why Wonderwall? Because there are so many like bombastic, triumphant, feel-good Oasis songs, especially for football players. I know so many football players, especially I think it's Man City. Man City loves Oasis, and Oasis loves Man City. I know Oasis does not like Manchester United. I'm not like really into football, but I've watched Nebworth live 1996, and I know what Noel Gallagher had to say to Man City fans.
Another boo for Man United.
A big boo for Man United.
A big boo for Man United.
What a really boo for Man United.
That's for you, Kyle. Wonderwall.
But sometimes I think, why not Don't Look Back in Anger? Why not Live Forever? Live Forever, the song that makes you want to live forever. Or Don't Look Back in Anger. After every win, we're not gonna look back in anger. Even after a loss, we're not gonna look back in anger. And the losing team, I hope you guys don't look back in anger. None of these were Team England's anthem, but instead it was Wonderwall. I think that not only speaks volumes as to how iconic the song is, but how relatable it is and how they wanted to connect with us back at home watching these games.
Wonderwall is iconic. You hear it at every single party. Whenever someone picks up an acoustic guitar, most likely, if they put the capo on the second fret, they're probably gonna play Wonderwall. And it became the first song of the 90s to cross 1 billion streams on Spotify, if you can believe it. And what's even more amazing is now, in 2026, with the popularity of the FIFA World Cup, with Liam Gallagher's comments on Twitter, and all of that, Wonderwall has bumped up all the way to number 2 on the UK singles charts for the first time since 1995. If that doesn't tell you how timeless and iconic this song is, then I don't know what will. When it comes to the World Cup, this is kind of hilarious. For years, Team England's song was Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline, which is funny. I mean, like, last time I checked, Neil Diamond isn't British. But during the 2026 World Cup campaign across North America, that tradition was completely ditched. The team needed an anthem that was fundamentally British, gritty, and emotionally raw. So after Team England's win against Croatia in Dallas, the stadium DJ plays Wonderwall. Team captain Harry Kane stood on the pitch, stared directly into the audience, and belted the song back to them. Kane later admitted that it was one of his favorite moments ever in the World Cup. And because Noel Gallagher wrote the lyrics to be entirely ambiguous, it made it a perfect slogan for Team England. The Three Lions official social media channels explicitly posted pictures of Harry Kane under the captions, "Because maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me." 60 years after England's lone 1966 World Cup win, the song became a literal prayer for a savior. And of course, Liam Gallagher weighed in from afar on Twitter, telling the squad to keep the biblical vibrations going. And my favorite tweet of his during this whole World Cup phenomenon was, "Come on England, come on Wonderwall." So after Oasis Live 2025 and now the 2026 World Cup, the world and so many newer and younger Oasis fans are truly understanding and getting to feel the magic of Wonderwall. With us coming hot off the heels of the World Cup and with the song stuck in everyone's head right now, I wanted to let you guys know that Paul McCartney didn't really write this song as a sweeping, optimistic anthem for the world or for any guy named Jude. He actually wrote this while driving to visit Cynthia Lennon and her son Julian. So here's a little context and a little bit of a TLDR of John Lennon's extramarital affairs. So during the early stages of the Beatles' life, John was married to Cynthia Powell, and they had a son named Julian. But because John was always touring, always busy with recording, writing songs with the Beatles, all that, he was actually a pretty absent father and sort of an abusive husband as well. And then we all know the story. He met Yoko and things went on from there. But this left Cynthia and Julian in a really tough spot. And things got so bad for them financially that, unfortunately, this is really sad, but Cynthia had to resort to selling John's old letters just to get by. These letters that he would send to her while he was touring and while he was away. But there was a beacon of hope in this really dark time for Cynthia and Julian, and that was our golden boy, Mr. Paul McCartney. He generously actually bought all those letters from Cynthia and then graciously and generously returned them back to her. So one day when Paul was driving on his way to visit Cynthia and Julian just to give them some comfort, see if they're okay, on the car ride over, he was just brainstorming a song. Hey Jules, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. He intended to comfort a 5-year-old caught in the wreckage of a really messy divorce that his father just really made public. There's so many other stories about Hey Jude, like the infamous argument between George and Paul about George having more guitar parts in the song that would echo Paul's vocals. And of course, its somber and pretty depressing origin story. But one bit of slightly humorous but also very comforting story that I love that really showcases the true collaborative spirit of the Lennon-McCartney songwriting duo is when Paul was playing the song for John. The song took a completely different turn, and when Paul originally sang the line, "The movement you need is on your shoulder," it's one of my favorite lines of the song. He paused and he told John that he's gonna replace it because it sounds stupid. Like, what a silly thing to say, "The movement you need is on your shoulder." John stopped him and said, "You know you won't. It's the best line in the song." And that's a really great anecdote I love. It shows how John was so supportive of Paul making some of these great songs. Like, John, looking back at the Beatles, almost hated every single song that he wrote, and anything that was associated with the Beatles, he just didn't want to be a part of it. But I love when he compliments Paul's songs like Hey Jude and Here, There, and Everywhere. It shows that strong Lennon-McCartney duo really at play, especially now with Hey Jude, when it was really late into the 60s, and that John and Paul Lennon-McCartney duo was just not really as collaborative as it was in the early 60s. But funnily enough, John thought that that line was about him, and to a greater extent, John thought that the whole song was about him. He believed that the entire song was actually Paul giving him permission to leave the Beatles and pursue a life that he wanted to live with his newly found love of his life, Yoko Ono. And here's a funny anecdote that I didn't know about the song until I recently started doing research for this video. During the recording session at Trident Studios, the band hired a 36-piece orchestra to play the backing track. After the session, they asked the classical musicians if they wanted to clap their hands and sing the outro chorus. You all know, na 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 na, that whole thing. All but one person agreed. One musician walked out stating, "I'm not gonna clap my hands and sing Paul McCartney's bloody song." After Hey Jude topped the charts, hit #1, and just became a lifelong 60-year anthem, I wonder what that guy was thinking. Maybe in the 80s, if he was still around, or in the 90s, he was like, darn, maybe I could have told my family and friends that I clapped along to that song. If only I just stuck around during Paul McCartney's bloody song.
Hey Jude was always one of the songs I wanted to learn on guitar, but as a beginner, I could never figure it out because After understanding that it had F and C, I just couldn't figure out what the next chord was, and it took me many years to figure out that it was B flat. I know I could have just looked it up, but I really wanted to learn that song by ear. And it's a song that I remember because it really like marked an accomplishment for me, because I knew that I could finally play bar chords. That was the bar chord song. That was the F major song for me. And looking at it now with some more like experience and knowledge of guitar, it's so simple. Just F, C, B flat. It's just a F major scale, and it's so simple yet so effective, and I love it. And it's got this really cool thing that the Beatles do. McCartney goes from a major to a major 7 to a dominant 7, which actually Lennon does in Strawberry Fields Forever and Harrison does in Something. I just think that's so cool that all three of the Beatles' main songwriters do something like that. The Beatles are so great because their songs are literally timeless. You can have your own like interpretation or meaning of what their songs mean to the world or what they mean to you, but after growing up and after living with the Beatles' music, it's very interesting. Though, like, of course, it's kind of sad and like reality hits you in a way, but it's more interesting than anything to realize why these songs were written in the first place. What was going through the mind of John, Paul, and George, and sometimes even Ringo, when they were writing these songs, and what got them to get to this spot. The Beatles have this like really interesting magic touch that they put in every single song that makes us feel like everything's going to be okay. And you sometimes sit and wonder how that's always been prevalent in every single song that they've written, despite the chaotic stuff happening in their life that got them to the point to write down those lyrics or come up with those melodies in the first place. The first time I heard Hey Jude was, funnily enough, on American Idol. One of the most British songs ever I heard on American Idol, covered by, I have to go back and see if this is true, if my really good memory may or may not be failing me right now, but I think it was Leadwise who won in either 2010 or 2011. I think he was the one who sang Hey Jude. And all the judges were like, dude, what the heck? Like, this is the most random song that you could sing in American Idol.
Don't make it bad. You have found her, now go and get her. Na, 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 hey Jude, hey Jude.
That was the first time I ever heard that song, and every time I heard it, it has like, it's just a earworm of a song. And another like cool trivia about the song that is like really cool to my life as well is I was a theater kid. I loved Hamilton, like many of my friends. Like during this time I was really getting into the Beatles. I was also getting into Hamilton because of my theater friends at that time. And with Hamilton, one of King George's songs, I think it's called You'll Be Back, I think Lin-Manuel Miranda was inspired specifically by Paul McCartney and by Hey Jude, specifically the like ending of the song. But that outro interlude is very similar to how King George does his little thing in that song, You'll Be Back. Hamilton fans, if you know, you definitely know what I'm talking about. But this song has always been like a comfort song to me. When things are down, when I need a little pick-me-up, when I just don't feel as confident, when I don't feel like I'm going to really get what I want or maybe achieve the goals that I want to achieve, then I remember Paul McCartney's really encouraging and heartfelt words in Hey Jude.
Hey Jude became a targeted weapon of adoration aimed squarely at England's midfielder Jude Bellingham. The song had loosely tied to him ever since Euro 2024, but it reached a boiling point during the 2026 World Cup knockout rounds. The 4-minute outro that we all know and love to sing, that Paul McCartney originally wrote to comfort a child, was used by an entire nation of football fans to celebrate their star player. The cameras stayed locked on Bellingham's face as the stadium literally shook around him to the sound of his own name, Hey Jude. It transformed a 1968 #1 pop hit by the greatest band of all time into a definitive soundtrack of England's push into the semifinals against Argentina. In 1995, Oasis releases Wonderwall, and 30 years later, it is an iconic hit. During the iconic tour of Oasis Live 2025 at Dublin, Liam iconically says, "Where the fuck would we be without Wonderwall? Selling carpets or some shit like that." And yeah, honestly, Oasis would be nothing without this anthem. But what does Noel have to say? Here's what its songwriter and principal guitarist has to say about its relevance. You may think it's cool to say Wonderwall is overrated, but that song has introduced more fans to Oasis than any other I've written, and that's put millions in my bank account. So fuck you. Very, very typical of the Gallagher brothers. I hope they never change. 30 years later, Wonderwall is sung by many around the world, and so many people relate to its heartfelt lyrics. And in 2 years, Paul McCartney's Hey Jude will be 60 years old. Can you believe that? And still to this day, Paul is selling out stadiums with people singing their hearts out to this beautiful, optimistic, uplifting anthem. It'll forever be one of the greatest songs of all time. And honestly, I'm not much of a football fan or a soccer fan for that matter, or just a sports fan in general. But as the FIFA World Cup was happening in the background this year, and I saw these songs gain so much popularity, bring in so much hype, and their relevance just came back full force so many years later, as an Oasis and a Beatles fan, and just a fan of music in general, it made me so happy to see the world come together and celebrate a team with some of these incredible anthems. So thank you all for joining me on this video. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a like, subscribe for more content just like this. If you guys know me from the channel Niche Quick Pops, I do a lot more video game analysis and discussion content over there. If you guys know me from over there, definitely stop by over here sometimes if you enjoy music, and especially rock music. I've always wanted to do something like this, and it's fun to try something new. So thank you all for checking out this video, and stick around for more rock music, Beatles, Oasis, and general music content just like this. I'll see you guys in the next one later.